Alright, I am back again. I have been wanting to do a follow-up video on collectors' firearms, and because I finally broke down and read the email from their general manager, and he tried to make it out to be something completely different than what it was. They gave me all these options and they didn't do anything, and blah blah blah. And I blatantly told them I'm going to be putting reviews everywhere, and suddenly my reviews on their Facebook page deleted. There was a review section when I did a Google search for them, and I left. That when I went back to try and look, that thing was gone too. So Collector's Firearm is in fact censoring negative reviews, something to be on the lookout for. But while I wanted to do a video and do a full-out, in-depth follow-up, something else came up. Old Joe Biden's at it again. You cannot make this up. He basically was doing a radio interview, and he blatantly came out and said, and this was a slip of all slips, and like I'm going to have a link in the description for this. He blatantly told them, if you're having to think between voting for Trump or me, you ain't really black. Not 100% quote, but that is more or less what he said. Not word for word, but that is what he said. Now, he has since retracted, saying that he should not have been so cavalier. But I'm going to take this a step further. Now, I've tried to find some links to what I'm about to say. I have not managed to do so at the time of me recording this, because I kind of just had the thought of it while I was in the process of driving, and so I haven't really looked. But there has been certain minority groups that have been questioning supporting the Democrat Party, and this is huge because if you think back, the Democrats have always been like the party of minorities, and that's one thing Lyndon B. Johnson allegedly says, that he would have those N-words voted Democrat for the next 200 years. And yes, that is highly contested. They say there's no 100% proof that he actually said it, but by the same token, it wouldn't be entirely out of line for him to say something to that effect. And so, if you go back and watch some of my videos, I have blatantly told on a number of occasions that, how did I know Barack Obama was going to get the nomination? Because leading up to the election, it was, the Republican war on blacks, on minorities. Then before Hillary Clinton, what was it? The Republican war on women. Well, here you go. They slipped up and blatantly told you, yeah, they are trying. This is more or less blatantly saying, how many more times can I say blatantly? But they are, and to me personally, this is saying, yes, we want division. If you truly identify as this, you should not be questioning who you should be voting for. They want that division. They want this is telling me they want certain demographics to just mindlessly vote for them. And if you're not, you should be questioning if you truly are this. You know, if you truly are black, you wouldn't vote Republican, or you wouldn't vote for anyone but a Democrat. If you're truly Hispanic, you wouldn't vote for anyone but a Democrat. If you're truly, you know, homosexual, transgender, what have you, you wouldn't be voting for anyone but a Democrat. And don't get me wrong, the Republicans do stuff like that too, like war on guns, war on Christianity. It's a standing procedure of both parties to do a divide and conquer, because they don't want you to vote entirely based on their merits, the merits of the candidates. If they did, the vast majority of them would not be elected or re-elected. But never before, to my recollection, has a candidate, especially a presidential candidate, blatantly came out and told you and said, well, if you are this demographic, you shouldn't even be questioning. If you were truly this demographic, you would not be questioning voting for me. I'm a Democrat. It's been pretty spot on the nose that they've been using a divide and conquer tactic. Like I said, I have yet to. This is the first time that I recall hearing a candidate for any office blatantly say, vote for me because, or you're not truly whatever. So here we have Joe Biden. You know, the Democrats they're doing a lot of bending over right now. Because you remember when Trump said, I could grab them by the morale. Well, now allegations are coming out that Joe Biden really did do that. And there's some proof that he may have actually done so. They complain about Trump just saying crazy things at times. And then they have Joe Biden, who randomly starts talking about kids playing with his leg hair, how marvelous it is. And they call Trump a racist. And yet their candidate for presidency made what I would consider, if it isn't racist, it's race baiting, a comment. And don't get me wrong, the Republicans could definitely work on their diversity. And their outreach to different groups. But I think it's high time for people who are in minority groups to take a look at this and question their allegiance to the Democrat Party. Then again, I think this should serve as a learning lesson to people who identify as Republicans. And see if maybe Republicans might be using scare tactics as well to get them to vote for that party, even though they may not necessarily agree with the things that particular party is doing. I think if more people did that, they did a little soul searching, I think there would be less people willing to vote for the Republicans and Democrats, and more that would be looking for third-party options. Whether it be your libertarians, which they haven't been working on their outreach with Americans in general. They're so disconnected it's not even funny. Or the Green Party, or what have you. there are options for third parties, and I think the time has come. We as Americans ditch the two parties and start looking for third party options and start supporting them and pushing to get good, decent candidates. Because if we do that, if we take on the two party system, eventually they will be forced to have two options. They'll be forced to make a decision. They can either change and become more of what Americans want, or they will be replaced with parties that are more like Americans want. And this is not unprecedented. Things like this have happened. And it's, in my not quite so humble opinion, it's way past due. Like I said, I'm going to try to throw plenty of links down in the description to back up what I'm saying. If you have any questions, comments, let me know. I'm going to get off here. Later.